So born in Jerusalem, now based in Montreal, where she continues to create music known for its sophisticated simplicity. Love that. Which, according to the Midwest Record, embraces a meeting of 1950s with the 2050s. Her music is rooted in jazz, and true to the jazz genre, Ayelet engages in the challenge of improvisation. That's part of the definition of jazz. Noticeable in her music is its unusual blend of Middle Eastern traditions with wide abstractions. To the description by the Vancouver Sun of Ayelet as an intoxicating vocalist, the New York Times added that her voice has an individually rigorous tone. Confirming Ayelet's talent are two very impressive facts. The first is that she performed John Zorn's music at the Metropolitan Museum, and secondly, and this really impresses me, she improvised with Bobby McFerrin, the legendary vocal master Bobby McFerrin, and did so at Carnegie Hall. If you don't know Bobby McFerrin, please look him up. What a genius, what a talent.
Absolutely.
Ayelet herself has had 10 albums produced, which have allowed her compositions and arrangements to be featured around the world. Today we will be privileged to listen to Ayelet sing her compositions to poetry that has been penned by Israeli female poets. She will also sing selections from her song cycle, Mayim Rabim, which is based on the biblical Song of Songs. By the way, this song cycle was released on John Zorn's record label, Sadiq. Please welcome today's highly acclaimed guest, Ayelet Rose Gottlieb. And
Thank you so much.
Not related to Amadeus.
Thank you very much.
To Amadeus, no.
Very nice, very nice.
So
Sophisticated information. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
May I ask that we all mute ourselves? And if we want to talk, then you can just unmute and say what you want to say. But because we're going to be listening to music, then it would be better if we don't have background sounds. I'll also mute myself when we listen to music. Is that okay?
Sure, whatever
Right,
you say.
wonderful. And I'm very happy to converse with you all at any point, and I might ask you actually for your feedback and for conversation. So I will talk to you, and then if you want to say something, absolutely unmute yourself and say what you want to say. But just for the sake of the music, it's better if we're muted as much as possible. Okay, so you heard a bit about me, and I'll just say a little bit more. Somebody is admitting this, right? Because I see people are trying to come in and all that. So I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. I was born in Jerusalem, and my family on my mother's side has been in Jerusalem since 1492. My mother's family is the Miyuchas family, which there are books about and streets named after, and so it's very much a family that stems from the stones of Jerusalem and from the alleys and streets of Jerusalem. My father immigrated to Israel from Switzerland. And my grandfather, as I mentioned to Gladys yesterday on the phone, was also born in Jerusalem in the around Sima, correct me if I'm wrong, I think around 1914 or so he was born, or 18? Sima? Okay, she's muted. I don't know how to unmute you, my darling. So never mind. But my grandfather was born around just around World War I, and his father was of Iraqi descent. And he loved Arabic music. He loved listening to the Jordanian radio stations. And really, I feel that having known him has shaped my music and the way that I listen to things in the world and the way that I create music, which is really a hybrid of a lot of different kinds of sounds. I grew up playing classical music. And in my own music, I combine classical music, jazz, other improvised styles, including some Arabic music, and I play with language as well. My first language is Hebrew, so I always go back to creating in Hebrew because it's a natural thing for me. So today I was supposed to be with you in your beautiful synagogue and to perform for you. Unfortunately, we can't be in the same room at the moment, but we're doing the next best thing. So I'll sing for you some pieces, but since I don't have my band with me or my accompanists, so I'll sing some pieces and we'll talk a little bit, and I'll also just play for you some music in different ways. So some of the songs that I would have sung for you in person, so you can get a taste of this music that is all programmed around women's songs and women's issues or things, not issues, but ideas. So the first thing I want to sing to you is a song that I composed by a poet named Bracha Seri. Do you all know her? She passed a couple years ago. She was a woman from a settlement near Jerusalem, and she was a very interesting person because she was Orthodox religious, but at the same time very liberal. She was a settler, but at the same time she was a left-wing person. She was a feminist and a stay-at-home mom. And she created out of all of these seemingly contradictory, and she was a Mizrahi woman, so she was a Yemenite, of Yemenite descent, and that played a big role in her writing as well. And she created out of all of these seemingly contradictory identities. And I think the biggest thing that I learned from my grandparents, especially from my grandfather, is that these contradictions are man-made and imposed on us, but they're not necessarily real. A lot of things have to do with perception and with the story that we tell ourselves. So through music and poetry, we have an opportunity to tell a different story. So before I sing the song, I want to read to you, for those of you who don't speak Hebrew, I just want to read my translation of this poem that she wrote. The poem is called Sitting in the Gardens and Singing. And she really creates a lot. She wrote a lot of poetry out of the experience of being a stay-at-home parent to her children. And I feel like this is a part of that kind of experience. Sitting in the gardens and singing, singing to the trees and to the stones, singing, sitting in the gardens and singing. Working every and any job so that I can come back to the gardens, walk around in the gardens, sing, dance, to sit, to dream, to shine in the gardens like the sun shines upon the world, to call like a rooster, to tweet like a bird, to sit in the garden is to fulfill my duty. I'll say that sentence again, it's an important one. To sit in the gardens is to fulfill my duty. All else is in between. Sending letters is an excuse. Washing the dishes, well, you do what you have to do. Making money, it's the law of the land. And the body demands woo your man. But sitting in the gardens and singing, far from the city's loud ringing. It's my existential calling. It allows for no stalling. It is my world evolving. Sitting in the gardens, singing, and when it's cold, I go back home to write my song. So I'll sing it for you, and then we can have a little conversation about this, because I'm sure many of you have this experience of having a great calling and having to manifest it in a life that doesn't always allow us to fully manifest our full being at every moment, especially now in COVID times when we're all cooped up at home. It's a different world, but we still need to find our way to our voices. So here it is. יושבת בגנים ושרה, שרה לעצים ולאבנים, יושבת בגנים ושרה, ואפילו ימימה ידעה זאת, עובדת בכל ג'וב, כדי שאוכל לבוא לגנים, לטייל בגנים, ולשיר ולחשוב, לשבת ולחלום, לזרוח בגן, כמו שהשמש זורחת בעולם, יושבת בגנים ושרה, שרה לעצים ולאבנים, יושבת בגנים ושרה. Thank you. If you want to unmute now, that would be great, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ayelet. You are amazing.
Thank you so much. So I would somebody is talking, and I can't see who it is. Okay, maybe let's mute ourselves again and unmute one at a time. If somebody wants to say something, unmute yourself to say what you want to say. Up. Okay. Okay, sorry. People are.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear.
Okay. You composed the music, right?
Yes.
And I think that you absolutely captured the sense of being in the garden. You know, there's a peacefulness, and at the same time there is, you know, it's there is sort of a lilting. It's not that she's just passive, but she's connected. So I felt that it was just beautiful. And
Thank you.
I envy your voice.
Thank you. Does someone want to share a moment where they remember themselves being in a space that is not optimal for what you feel you want to express, but you find a way to do it anyways. I would love to hear like one or two stories like that of a moment where you had that kind of an experience.
Most of my life was a joke.
What do you mean by that?
Who was asking?
Ayelet.
You asked, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Or somebody else?
No, you.
No, but you know, you're saying you do things even though you're not perhaps prepared or the circumstances are not like.
You know, Ayelet, we can get people to speak at the end, maybe.
If it's okay with you, I'd love to do it back and forth like that, because then we can build a conversation.
Yeah, okay.
It's not going to be long.
Okay, because we will have time also at the end for us.
Okay. Okay.
But nevertheless, we go on, right? You work, you have your family, you do this, you do that, and it's never optimal. You do it,
Exactly.
you know, in spite of it not being optimal.
And I think that's very much part of women's stories many times, right? That we have a juggle that's maybe less common for some men. And I really love Bracha's writing, the way that she writes that kind of situation. I'll sing one more of her songs for you. I didn't plan to, but I think it would be nice. And this one I composed when my kids were babies. And she just describes so beautifully that juggle of being a creator and also a mother of babies. And I don't have a translation in front of me, so I'll just kind of say it off the top of my head. When I would start singing, with me, a little baby would shed tears. Many mothers spoil their children with bananas. I spoil my children with song.
Bravo.
With songs from the Holy Scripture. So this is the song. Okay. I'm gonna mute people as I see so that I can have better sound. כשהייתי מתחילה לשיר, אם תינוק היה מזיל דמעות. אמהות מפנקות תינוקן עם בננות, אני פינקתי ילדיי בשירים משירי התפילה הקדושים. And then she says, when I would work in the kitchen, plates would fly in the air. כשהייתי שרה במטבח, עמדו צלחות באוויר. כשהייתי שרה I forget the words. מיד היה נה. כשהייתי שרה, רקדה כל העיר. When I sang, the whole city danced. כשהייתי שרה. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, you got emotional, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Have some water, drink some water. You got
I'm
emotional.
really sorry.
It's okay, relax. Relax, take a breath. Take a deep breath.
it's a challenging time for musicians right now. We're not allowed to be in the same room.
Relax.
And do what we're meant to do on this earth. So it's a hard thing to not be able to know when we're going to be able to perform again and to sing for people again. It's a difficult moment. And being here with you is very meaningful. And I'm sorry I got emotional, but
Just relax. You look wonderful. You're doing great.
It's part of the reality of this time, huh? Okay, sorry. I'm going to play some music for you. So the next piece I wanted to play for you, I'm going to play it for you from a video, and it's called Libavtini, and this one is from a song cycle that I composed about 15 years ago. And Gigi before was mentioning this album, which was my first collaboration with John Zorn. And this whole album is a song cycle that's based on the Song of Songs from the Bible. And this particular song is about looking at the man is looking at his bride, and he sees his bride veiled, and his heart goes out to her. And to me, it's an interesting thing that covering up, right, of the brides, that hidden, that little concealment that we stand behind. And he says to her, "You are a locked garden." And I just find that beautiful and interesting, and also part of our experience in this world is how much of ourselves do we conceal and how much do we reveal. Let me play the song for you, and I hope you will enjoy it. 1 second, I think I need to open it first before I can share it for you. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Okay. Tell me if you hear the sound okay, okay? Just put it. Can you hear that?
Yeah, but we lost you. We don't see you.
You see me on the side. You see me on the side? You're gonna see the video. It's gonna take over the screen so that you can hear it. But I just want to make sure that we're hearing the music first. So can you just, Gigi, would you tell me if you can hear? Yes? Okay, great. I'm gonna start it at the top. Okay, and here it is. So this is Libavtini from Maim Rabim.
I lost her voice. I lost her. Oh, there she is. I lost the sound.
Are we supposed to see pictures at the same time? Are we supposed to see somebody singing, playing music?
So frustrating.
Did you not see it? Did you not see or hear? Let me try that again.
I heard. I heard music.
But you
I
didn't
don't think
see?
it was the best resolution. Heard music, but I didn't
Oh,
see
weird.
it. It was a blank screen.
Oh, that's bizarre. Okay, let me try that again and let's see. Hopefully it'll work this time. Okay, I hope I can do it this time and that it would be okay. Let me see what happens now. Let's try that. It should work. I've done this before and it worked fine, so I hope it works for you guys. Okay, let me try that again.
I disappeared. I can't do this.
No, when I put the video on, you guys will be on the sidebar, so you're not going to see everybody at the same time, and that's okay. We're going to watch the video, so this is as close as we can get to a full live performance at this moment in time. So just watch the video and don't worry about being seen at the moment. You're here and I can see you all on the sidebar and you can see yourselves on the sidebar probably as well. But the main thing we're seeing is going to be the video. Okay, so I'm going to start it again. And please let me know if it's working. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try it again.
I don't know if
Sorry.
I can see it now.
Okay, great. Thank
Me
you.
too.
Okay, good. You hear it okay?
What happens, Ayelet?
דבש וחלב תחת לשונך מעיין חתום, מעיין חתום, גן נעול, גן נעול, אחותי חלה, מעיין חתום, גן נעול, גן נעול, מעיין חתום, מעיין חתום, גן נעול, יבוא דודי לגנו, אחותי חלה, מעיין חתום, גן נעול, ויאכל פרי, מעיין חתום. בכתי לגני אחותי חלה, אריתי מורי עם בשמי,
Did everyone hear okay?
Yes, beautiful.
Okay, great.
I didn't hear anything.
You did not? Oh, that's bizarre.
I don't know.
I heard everything. Okay.
I didn't know what was happening even.
Oh, Gladys, I'm sorry. Okay, hopefully next time you can hear it.
I was wondering, what is everybody staring?
Oh.
I was joining the song. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Is that Shachar?
No,
No.
it's my husband
Oh, lovely.
with you.
I was singing with you because I know Shir HaShirim by heart.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
I miss Shirat Shirim. Wow.
Only if
Gladys, I'll send it to you later so you can hear it on your
I heard
own.
nothing. I was wondering what is going on. Everybody is just looking.
Super strange, huh?
Pardes.
Pardes. Right. So my I started, since I moved to Montreal, I started like a little, it's not really a school, but I call it my orchard of pomegranates, my Pardes Rimonim im Pri Megadim, which is what I call like the umbrella of all the things that I do out of my house, which are house concerts and classes, like improvisation classes and jazz and voice lessons and all those things. So I call it Pardes Rimonim because I live on Old Orchard Avenue. So, so the Song of Songs keeps walking with me as I walk through life.
It's not born in Montreal.
Here in Montreal, yeah. Yeah. If anybody wants to say anything, I'm happy to have a moment with you, or if you want, we can continue.
We are happy to hear you.
Thank you.
We will have at the end a certain time for us to talk.
Okay,
So it's better we concentrate on you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the next thing that I will play for you is from an album that I did in 2013. And the album was called Roadsides, or in Hebrew, Betzidei Drachim. And שחר, אם אתם יכולים לדבר במקום אחר. Sorry, I'm here with the kids. We're multitasking, homeschooling. Everything is happening at the same time. In any case, so Betzidei Drachim is a collection of songs that I composed music to poetry by Israeli and Palestinian poets. And this particular song is a composition of mine to words by Esther Rab, who is considered the first poet to have written solely in Hebrew, the first Israeli poet. And she wrote a lot of very famous poetry. In this particular song, she is referring to the prayer book. So in the traditional prayer book, we would say, Baruch shelo asani isha. And she takes that statement and she flips it on its head and she says, Baruch she'asani isha. And when we go to the bathroom, we say, Baruch she'asitani nekavim nekavim, chalulim chalulim, which for a woman is even more so, right? And thank you for giving me holes in my body, in my nostrils, all the different holes that we use every day to breathe and to do other things for which we need holes. And she took that and she flipped that as well. And instead of the holes, she's talking about the curves. Baruch she'asitani igulim igulim. Thank you for making me circular and round and able to bear fruit. So this is my composition to her song. But before I play it for you, I'll read to you my translation for it so that you can get a sense of it if you don't speak Hebrew. Praised are you who has made me a woman, for I am earth and flesh, and a soft rib. Praised are you for making me circles, circles as the zodiac, as the roundness of fruits. You gave me a living flesh that blossoms. You made me as a plant of the field, able to bear fruit. Your torn clouds are sliding like silk on my face and my thighs, and I am big. And I ask to be like a little child, crying of sorrow and laughing and singing with a voice so soft, like a tiny cricket in your supreme choir of cherubs, the smallest of the smalls. I am playing at your feet, my creator. So I'll do again a share screen. So we're all going to go to the side again. And you'll hear the music, hopefully. If there's a problem, please put a note in the chat and I'll be able to see that. And then I'll try to correct it. Okay. Here it is. Can everybody see the screen? Can everybody see?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. Okay.
ברוך שעשני אישה, שאני אדמה ואדם וצלע רכה. ברוך שעשיתני עיגולים, עיגולים. ברוך שעשיתני עיגולים, עיגולים. כגלגלי מזלות תוך עיגולי פירות. שנתת לי בשר חי פורח ועשיתני כצמח מחליקים כמשי על פניי וירחיים.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Very nice.
A little twist on prayers that need twisting.
I was wondering
Yeah.
about the tone. I mean, okay, you really blended various musical influences. There's African, it seems, as Mediterranean. But the sense of it is eerie, that there's an eeriness. And here, she's supposed to have fought for herself. Well, as you said, she changed the prayer to suit, to suit her thinking, and turned it on its head. You said, and so I would have thought there's some sort of exaltation or triumph or something like this, but instead I felt there was an eeriness.
Well, what I was attempting to do, and that's the thing with music and art, that you do something and then it's interpreted differently for different people. What I was attempting to do with the music is to draw the circles. Sounds like a circle to me. And then it's circular, it keeps going like that. So that's what I was playing around. The shape really is what I was trying to paint. I want to go back to Esther Rab that we started with before, or that we just heard her. This was an Esther Rab poem, and she wrote another poem that I love, which is Holy Grandmothers in Jerusalem. And it's a long poem. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you, but I'm just going to recite to you the first few sentences. Holy grandmothers in Jerusalem, may your virtue protect me. The scent of orchards and blossoming flowers was given to me with my mother's milk. And so the last few songs that I want to share with you are to do with my maternal grandmother, Venezia, who is very much a Jerusalemite, as she will say herself in one of these songs. And she was very central in my upbringing. Actually, her photograph is right here, if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it with the light behind me. Do you see?
Mhm.
Wow, lovely.
So over the years, I've written a lot of songs about her because she was so central for me. And I think about her a lot because she lived her life. She was a seamstress and a mother of 4 children. And her life was seemingly not a huge one. She hardly ever left Jerusalem. She never left Israel. Her distances were small. And yet she had such a big impact on everyone who loved her. So the first song is one that I wrote to her. Actually, the 2 songs are ones that I wrote while she was still alive. And the first actually uses her voice, so you will hear her voice in it. And at the end, I combine some sentences from the Song of Songs with a children's rhyme that she would recite to me. And Gladys and I had a little conversation yesterday. My grandmother only learned until she was 11 years old, and then she was pulled out of school to go to work. But she was a curious person, so she could speak 5 languages, and she always loved to read, and she always kept herself engaged with the world. She never was bored, really. So she part of the things she brought into my life were these little rhymes that she would speak to us. And this one, I'm sure you all know, and you'll hear it at the end. And that's where it connects, because it might sound strange out of context. Why am I singing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 once I caught a fish alive? But that was one of the things that she would sing to me. And at the same time, she would recite Shirat Hayam and Shirat Dvorah and passages from the Bible. She would know them by heart and recite them to us. So there was this mix of Kodesh and Chol together. So this is my song called Venezia. And you'll see her and hear her in it. Oh, wrong one, sorry. Wrong one, sorry, I just need to open the correct one. This is it. Okay.
Moi, j'ai l'écran avec tout le monde. Bon, maintenant, elle est en train de partager. Alors, c'est un peu difficile. Il y a la possibilité, en fait.
Who is speaking? Does someone want to say something?
Oui.
No, I think people have to mute themselves because we can hear.
Right.
We can hear people talk. Please mute yourself.
I'm just going through to see if I find who it is, and then I can just mute them on our end. Sorry, somebody is speaking and we can hear your phone conversation.
Yeah.
So maybe mute yourself if...
Yes, but once someone talks...
It's the Spanish-Portuguese account.
Okay, here it is. Okay, got it. Okay, are we ready? I'm going to start.
למדנו בלבולציה כזאת.
נכון, בלבולציה.
אני גם כן, אני ירושלים.
בזמן האחרון אני רואה הכל בעיניים תכלת. בזמן האחרון אני רואה הכל בעיניים תכלת. בנגב
כזה עוד לא ראיתי, לא שמעתי, מימיי לא ראיתי. ממש גן עדן. Nashir 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 once I got the fish alive 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 then I let it go again.
Why did you let it go?
Because it bit my finger so.
Which finger did it bite?
The little finger on my right.
אני אוהבת אותך.
אני אוהבת אותך. למה עשינו
Beautiful, very touchy. Wonderful, thank you.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
I didn't lose it this time.
Good, I'm glad to hear.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So the next song is one that is really closest that I can get to what we were supposed to do today. It's a duet of mine with a pianist that I love, and she's like my music wife. Her name is Anat Fort, and she's a great pianist. She lives in Tel Aviv. And this is another song that I wrote about my grandmother. And in this one, I combined some of the words that she would use in Ladino. Specifically, she would say lejos. Lejos is like, let it be far from us, like the tzarot. And my grandmother, like many grandmothers and many mothers, she was a worrier. She would worry a lot all the time, and that was part of what sustained her in her life. So this song is about when I moved to the United States in my early 20s, and I would talk to her over the phone, and she would really worry, and that kind of worry traveled across the oceans. So this is what this song is about, and it combines a little bit of Ladino into the Hebrew. I hope it works for us. Okay. Let me find it here. Why am I not finding it? Okay, sorry. 1 minute. I need to find the link again because it's not working. Here it is. Okay. Okay. 2 seconds and we'll be ready for that. Okay. There we go. Okay.
ממרחקים, מבעד לאוקיינוסים של מחשבות ומעשים, ממעמקים אני שומעת את קולך, אני יודעת את נפשך, את דואגת מרחוק ואני שרה. Leshus, leshus, why the me, my epo, why the me, leshus, leshus, why the me, why the me, leshus, leshus, why the me, my epo, why the me, leshus, leshus, why the me, why the me. אף על פי שמילותייך הן כשאני שרה, תשאלי למה לשוס? אני אומרת כי אף על פי שהן מילים של דאגה, כשאני שרה הן מקרבות אותי אלייך, מנחמות אותי כמו להיות לרגע בין זרועותייך. את דואגת מרחוק ואני שרה. than me, my apple white than me, licious, licious white than me, white than me. Licious, licious white than me, my apple white than me, licious, licious white than me, white than me. ממרחקים, ממרחקים, מבעד לאוקיינוסים של מחשבות ומעשים, ממעמקים אני שומעת את קולך, אני יודעת את נפשך, ואני שרה,
That's a beautiful, amazing.
Thank you.
Every
Thank you
time
so
you
much.
called, I was afraid that you finished. So beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to play one last song for you today. And this one is one that I wrote after my grandparents passed away, and I had children, and I wanted to give my children a sense of my family. They're growing up in Canada, and their childhood is very different than what my childhood was. So it was important to me to give them something of my experience as well. And I try to do this through all the senses. So, you know, when I cook for them, I'll often make foods that my aunts taught me to make, or my grandmother. You know, I see even in the way that my daughter will tap on my back or her siblings' back, I see that she has inherited this specific kind of touch that my grandmother would touch me this way, and my aunts and my mother. In visual cues, I have photos around the house, and I have furniture that my grandfather made, and my grandmother's sewing machine is in my house, and so it's all around. And in music, of course, and through smells, through foods and other. My daughter's name is Yasmin, which was my grandmother's favorite flower. So I named her after my grandmother's favorite scent. So this is how I try to kind of link the ancestry through the senses to my children, which, you know, goes back to the Bracha Seri poem that I sang for you before when I started to cry. This song is called Ya'eni, My Eyes, and it's a collection of fragments of sentences in Arabic, Ladino, and Hebrew that my grandparents would say to me, and that I am now gifting to my children, so that they can have these words in their vocabulary, even if they don't speak the languages that their grandparents or great-grandparents spoke. At least they can have the flavor of the language in their mouth. So this song I will play for you from inside the album, so it's not going to be visually very stimulating, but you can close your eyes and listen, and this will be the last thing that I share with you today, and then we can talk a little bit after. So this is from an album of lullabies for all ages that I made when my kids were babies with my partner Anat Fort, who we just heard on the piano, and she plays on this piece as well. So this is Ya Aini.
يا عيني يا روحي يا قلبي يا التانت كتنتانت نشماتي يا عيني يا روحي يا قلبي يالد ما בחשכתי أبوس عينك عينيך כמו שני שקדים בשוקולד أبوس عينك عينيך כמו שני שקדים בשוקולד أبوس عينك Ojos míos, querida, querida mía. Ojos míos, querido, mi querido. يا عيني يا روحي يا قلبي يا التونت كتنتونت نشماتي
Okay, I unmuted.
So beautiful, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I am inviting you when we celebrate the opening of the synagogue.
Amen.
You will join us. We want to be with
Absolutely.
you personally.
Me too. I would so
Ayelet,
love that.
my husband just came up the stairs and he said, "What's that? It's so beautiful."
Oh.
So I explained a little bit and
Oh.
really, really loved it.
Oh, thank you.
يا عيني يا روحي يا قلبي. Sandonit. That's beautiful. Amazing, amazing. So
Thank
nice.
I don't
So
know
nice.
why the description, in the description, someone said that your music is, there's a simplicity. I guess there is a simplicity, but it's also very complex, I find. Some of your pieces are very complex, I think. The one with the girl turning everything on her head, you know, and your circles and all that. That was very complex.
Okay, yeah.
And it's interesting, the different types of music that you're able to put together into one piece. You know, it's, as I told you before, I heard some African and then I've heard like Yemenite type of you know, sounds and then European instruments. So I don't know. It's
Yeah. I think we are all in the modern world when people travel and we're not limited geographically. Then so many influences
right
come into everybody's lives, right? And for me, that's part of what interests me as a composer and as a performer, is to combine those flavors that maybe are not obvious to combine together, but I want to bring them into the same soup and see what comes out. And what comes out is some kind of a hybrid that is not really, it doesn't fit maybe into the boxes that we know, but it's
original.
Yes, and it ties into the boxes that we know. It grows out of them. It's like a new plant.
Like a new plant. That's very good.
Does anyone have any questions or things they want to share with me? Or
when did you come to Montreal?
We moved here in February 2018, so not long ago, just over 2 years.
From the United States?
No, my husband and I have been moving around since 1999. Our last stop before Montreal was Vancouver. And before that, we were in London, UK, and before that, in Tel Aviv for a little while, in Jerusalem. And before that, he was in New Zealand and I was in the US. So we were long distancing for a while. So we've been moving around.
And when did you leave Israel?
We left in 99.
Oh,
a long
so
time ago.
You got married in Israel?
We got married first in Los Angeles, in the airport, and then and then we had another wedding in Jerusalem.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I missed the beginning, the introduction that Gigi did. So I wanted to know, do you write both the music and the words of the songs?
So today, almost everything I played for you, except the 2 songs about my grandmother and the last song. So the last 3 songs, I wrote both the music and the words. But most of what I played for you today was either poetry by Esther Rab or Bracha Seri or Song of Songs are the selections that I chose today. So I work from poetry and other textual sources, as well as without words, and sometimes I write my own words, but I mostly compose music, but occasionally I'll write words as well.
I'll tell you, I found very interesting the song with your grandmother, how you incorporated her voice and her sings into the song. That was very interesting, something that I'd never heard before.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was so beautiful, and I agree, and I felt that you could hear the love between the two of you through the song.
I thought physically she was very beautiful.
She was.
It's beautiful. Each song is unique and it represents something very emotional and something about the family and the love.
Thank
And your
you.
beautiful voice is amazing.
I was trying to bring selections that had to do, because the theme was a woman's song or songs by women and of women and about women. So that was what led my selections today. I'm really, really thankful that you all were with me for this a little bit over an hour now. We've been listening to music and talking, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be with you all and to meet you all. And I hope we get to do this in reality one day. At some point.
You will sing us, to us about men next time?
About men next time? Oh. They get enough attention.
Yes, well, it's the women's learning group.
Yeah.
Each of your songs is a narrative.
Did you record any of your songs?
Well, everything you heard today, except for the Leshos one is on YouTube, but it's not on albums. But everything else is on my albums, yeah.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
10
Is that
albums.
Edmond?
10 albums.
I'm right here.
Edmond?
I'm right here.
Gladys, I didn't hear what you said.
It's wonderful to join you.
Thank you, Edmund.
Because I had other meetings, as you could well imagine.
Yes, we're all on Zoom all day.
This is Edmond Elbad, the president of the synagogue.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for being
Welcome,
here.
Edmond.
Thank you very much.
I don't see you, but I hear you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank
Gladys,
you.
you always do amazing things for our synagogue. And when I'm looking at all your team now, I'm so full of joy because they are bringing so much nachas to our synagogue through their creativity, through their work, through their friendship. So, kol hakavod to all of you.
Thank you, Edmond. You are amazing. You encourage and you inspire, and we continue in what you encourage us to do.
Thank you. Is Rabbi Ornstein here with us today?
Sorry?
He was here. He was here and he had to leave a bit early.
Okay. All right.
Rabbi Ornstein told me you have to get her. You have to. He wouldn't leave
And he
me.
was
I have
absolutely
to-
right.
I said, I don't know how she will say. He said, just to bring her. Not ask any question, just invite her.
It's wonderful to be with you. Thank you so, so much.
You're
I'm
very
very glad.
Thank you. You are amazing. You brought us so much joy.
If I was still in the school system, I'll hire you immediately as a music teacher, as a choir master, and you'll be bringing so much creativity
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
and charm.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ayelet, and thank
Okay,
you,
my
Gladys.
dear.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gigi, for the introduction.
And
My pleasure. I wanted to
Yom Yerushalayim Sameach to all.
Toda.
Thank you. Thank you, Edmond. Thank you for coming. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You never disappoint me.
Bobby McFarren
Be well. Be well.
Thank you, Edmond.
Gigi
Thank
speaking?
you.
is as genuine, I don't know, is as genuine as he is in his performances. Because
Yes.
he must be. He's what an elegant man, so creative. And I remember when he first classical piece, he said, first of all, when he was exposed to it, it blew his mind because he was just into jazz before that, basically jazz. And then He said it took him 2 years. I think it was a piece by Handel, but I'm not 100% sure. He said it took him 2 years to be able to do the vocals, and but he got it. And then he was on, another path musically as well. But what a fine man! And
yes,
man. But was he like that in person? He was
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's very decent. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful person and very generous and very open. And it was an incredible experience of 20 singers from all parts of the world that came together, and we did an improvised opera at Carnegie Hall.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the subject?
Tower of Babel.
Not ya any Alvi?
No, that's part of it, isn't it?
I love that.
Thank you. When I see you, I'll bring you a copy of the CD.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have an open invitation.
Thank you, I appreciate it. My husband had to go back downstairs to work, so I have to go back to my little people before they do something crazy.
How many do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Oh, bless.
Can we see them?
They're outside in the backyard on their own. So right now, I just need to go get take a picture that they're alive.
Okay.
But I really, really love being with you and appreciate this time together.
Well, I think we appreciate it even more because we enjoyed it. We learned a lot at the same time, and we met you. We got to meet you. So
yes, exactly.
Thank you, Ayelet. That was an amazing session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just want to say, I want to tell that my granddaughter, her name is Ayelet.
Ah, so that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Razale.
So every Ayelet is a beautiful. I assume
Thank you.
the granddaughter also is a beautiful Edmond.
Shalom uvracha.
Shalom uvracha. Toda rabba.
Thank you, Edmond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Always with us. We appreciate your visit. Thank you.
I'm hearing screams and yells, so I gotta go.
Okay, thank you, Ayelet.
Bye-bye.
As much as Rabbi Ornstein described you, you are even much, much more.
Oh, thank you.
You are beyond our expectations. Thank you very
so much.
Good luck,
Bye-bye.
and we look forward to see you again.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In person next time.
Amen.
Very shortly.
Bye-bye.